you made me think of I was getting very into a deep dive on the sovereign citizens movement, and
Oh yeah, thinking about a podcast pivot.
yeah, why not? Because here's what I'll say about taxation: it's theft.
Yeah, it's theft, man. We didn't agree to that thing in the thing.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was my deep dive led me down this
Yeah.
rabbit hole about about traffic infringements and
Oh yeah.
this discussion around.
I love that a lot of the Sov
So
Sid
petty.
movement is just about traffic infringements.
Yeah,
by the
this
way.
was this had
Getting
like
out of parking offences and traffic,
700,
and that's
700
mostly-
comments under
How'd you
this.
get into it?
Well, this one guy
Is it
was.
off the news? Was it stuff that was in the
I
news?
can't remember.
and
It
you were
was. I
just-
think it was.
yeah.
I think it was Facebook.
Yeah,
Or I got led from a forum to Facebook.
Yeah.
But it was these
That
people.
sound- that sounds about right.
It was-
Story checks out.
It totally
And then
starts off
YouTube,
innocent enough.
And
yeah.
then to Infowars.
So it was one person was talking about what tyranny looks like, and apparently this guy tyranny looked like getting a parking fine.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
does.
God bless
The
you.
government.
I live in a
come out with
country
laws.
where
Can't
tyranny.
even park my car. Tyranny.
But then another person was saying it's a psyop.
Yeah.
That they just want to they want to scare you into paying for. They want you to pay for parking fine and
Parking.
tolls, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Because
now, 'cause
what are they
you're a
going to
sovereign
what are they
citizen.
what are they going to do?
What are they going to
And
do?
then someone said, well,
Apply
they
the laws
they
of
can
the
apply.
land?
Well, they can pass it on to a debt collector,
Yeah.
and they can come like clamp your
And get the
car
money,
or
yeah.
you get the money.
Repossess you.
And this guy was saying, it's never happened
Yeah.
in 15 years. I've never paid a single toll, never paid a parking fine, and no one's ever done anything about it. It's a psyop. Don't let yourself be controlled by fear.
That's a psyop.
And I'm like, I'm not sure that that's right, because I've had debt collectors, I've had bills that go over or whatever, and like it. You read I mean, maybe I haven't let it ever get to a point where I've had to go to court or a sheriff's come knocking on my door, but I have seen sheriffs. I've lived with people who haven't paid bills, and a sheriff has come to the door.
Absolutely,
Like,
that is the case.
they can recoup the costs. I don't think it's a psyop.
Some criminals get away with robbing banks as well.
Yeah.
But like,
It doesn't mean it's going to apply to everyone.
yeah.
But I did sort of wonder, like the attractiveness of being. It is an attractive idea to just be like, I just
I
don't
think the
give a
laws
fuck.
don't apply.
Yeah,
to
to
you.
live like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day,
Yeah.
where it's like I'm just going to do and behave in a way that only benefits myself
Yeah.
because.
To only think about myself, to be purely. So often in life, you can see the advantages of it,
Yeah.
right? Like we can all see. I mean, look,
Not to get
I'm not even
political.
going to make the point because everybody understands the point that I would make regardless. But we've seen a world in which just having relentless confidence and
I don't know who you're talking about.
and like not being like ever admitting to making a mistake or anything like that
Yeah.
can be an incredibly
Not be
successful.
rewarding. No.
winning
If a lifetime of reading books and moral education has taught me one thing, it is cheaters never prosper.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
it's always best to tell the truth.
and all the biggest companies in the world are run by the best and most honest and most sane people. It's I think that there is that element of we wish in a way that we could act like that, but I'm not sure that we necessarily would like to be that person, right? So like we'd like the confidence to be able to act like it, but not because you still have to live with the consequences of being a person. Well, these people don't, obviously.
Well, that's what-
they don't. This thing that would stop me from doing it wouldn't be that the bit that where I think, oh yes, it would be fun to just take whatever you want whenever you want and
Yeah.
do like whatever you want. Of course, there's something appealing about that, but then there would just be the consequences of having to examine and reconsider and like morally,
What's it doing to your...
grapple with your
Yeah.
actions and the consequences of your actions.
I think the power fantasy of a game like Grand Theft Auto, and the power fantasy of that is you just do and behave however you want. You know, murder's legal. You can steal. You can do whatever. You drive cars fast. There's no real consequences. You just reset and start again. But that only exists in that finite world of a fantasy, much
Yeah.
like any kind of fantasy, when they're the parameters. But that's not how the world exists, because the consequences knock on not just from Like you're doing something
Yeah.
selfish because you believe it just impacts you,
Yeah.
or it's only going to affect you, and it's no one else's business how I choose to
Yeah.
live my life.
And then in the next scene of Grand Theft Auto, you drive into a thing and you see his family,
Yeah.
the guy you just murdered, and they're actually really nice.
Yeah.
And he was just out on the streets trying to pay for an operation for his kid.
Well,
and-
me and my friend used to play when we used to play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
We invented our own
Grand
game.
Theft Auto 9 Consequences.
Yes. Well, me and my friend, we used to play this game. It was called Backstory. And so we'd
Oh,
get
yeah.
on the roof of a building
Mm.
in Grand Theft Auto with our sniper rifle
Yeah.
and would go to one of like the NPCs, like the non-playable characters, and we would get them in our crosshairs. And just before we shot them, we would say, "This is Stephen. He's been working in a science lab for 6 years. He's just come up with a cure for cancer. He's just on his way to lodge the papers and bang! Oh no! Oh no, he's dead. He's dead." You know. This is Mark. Mark was an alcoholic for 20 years. He's finally turned his life around. He's about to go back to his first love and let it. Oh no! He's dead. He's dead too. But that is the thing, right? Like you can live a life that pleasures that you only serve your own sort of needs or pleasures or whatever. But the ripple effect for that just goes on forever. And the thing about the sovereign citizen thing that I found from reading all these comments and stuff is the it's rules for thee, rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah.
So they want everyone else to abide by the rules, but it doesn't apply to them.
Because
so
they're sovereign
not
citizens.
they're not saying they want anarchy, because it would be anarchy, right? If anyone could do whatever they wanted, but they're just saying no.
Oh, yeah.
These
It's
rules,
almost like there's a reason that the rules exist in the
yeah,
first place.
yeah, these rules that you're applying to me suck
Yeah.
and get fucked.
Yeah.
But by the same token, everyone else has to play by. If they can't differentiate themselves from anyone if everyone is a sovereign citizen. You know what I mean? Like they kind of need some squares to rebel against, but they don't seem to have that awareness that if they're sort of saying like everyone's sheep and we're all being controlled by these psyops, blah 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 blah. But if everyone thought like them, then there would be nothing to rebel against.
I love that idea where they're always like, "I don't live your life in fear," and yet the ultimate fear is thinking everything is a psyop. Like that is living your life in fear, thinking that the government is trying to control you all the time. I mean, there is an element of like I get it. There are heaps of rules in society as well that I think are dumb, and there are laws that I have broken or disobeyed or don't think apply to me, and all those sort of things. But in a general principle in society, I've always been a bit of one of those, like I don't like there would be exceptions to this rule as well, but I've always been a bit of a in the privacy of your own home. Like if you're hurting nobody but yourself,
Go nuts.
go nuts, right? Like do what you need to do. Like but like once you get out and about and you're affecting other people, you just have to be, I mean, to make it as simple as the baby at the Arj Barker show. Like my attitude is always like, you can bring a baby to the show. If the baby starts to annoy other audience members, you probably need to take the baby out for a bit. But if it's not annoying anybody, then it shouldn't be a problem that the baby's there. Like, I feel like that's the same with pretty much any element of.
Are you talking about a consequence culture, Will?
I mean, I just feel like the idea now is that, like you said, everyone wants all the benefits of us living in a society, but they don't want to pay any of the cost of living in a society.
Yeah.
So we still want the protections of feeling safe or looked after or protected from a scam or whatever it might be of living in a society. But the idea that we would then have to pay some sort of debt for those freedoms, like the freedoms come with a price. That there is, that everything is like a balancing act whereby, like, in a way it'd be great to like be able to trade, like goods and services in the way that we used to, right? Like, but it's going to be tough for me to arrange a comedy gig if like 100
Getting
different
paid in
people
a
have to be
donkey.
like, I'm going to give you a loaf of bread and I'm going to give you a donkey ride. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there is this segment of the population. Well, I don't even know if it's like how big it is, but this individual you were referencing before, who I had no idea who you're talking about.
Anyone, could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Yeah.
But like friends of mine who are otherwise, fairly intelligent, well-adjusted, pay their taxes, all that kind of stuff. They have said to me, "Oh, but it's just nice that someone's like disrupting, that they're sort of shaking the foundation." You
Yeah.
know? And I understand that appeal. I
Of
understand
course.
the idea of someone being a disruptor
Yeah,
and
if you
calling
can't fix it,
it-
break it.
it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
This is all, but the problem is, it's easy to point out when something isn't working. And I get it. If you feel like something isn't working and someone comes along and says, this isn't working, I've got a solution. And the other mob are like, no, it's working.
Mm.
Like you can find the idea of somebody saying, this is not working appealing. But if their solution is, I'll teach you how to send an email from your banana,
Yeah.
then it's not actually a
But
sensible solution.
But the thing is, it's like everyone is strawmanning everyone else. It's always like the other side is saying this, but I don't feel like the other side is saying everything's perfect. I think everyone kind of agreed that shit is fucked up, like, and we need to change things. But maybe it's like, let's incrementally change things or have a sober discussion around how to change things and work out where the real problems are, as opposed to let's just detonate stuff and then rebuild from the ground up.
Yeah, but there's no reward to that in the attention economy. It's got to be black or white. And we, particularly online, you live in the world where you're not just being, sent a whole bunch of things that reinforce your positive, the things that you're into. You're also being sent a whole bunch of things that you think that everybody on the other side is completely extreme, because the things that you get fed are the most extreme opposite examples of the thing that you believe in, because that's what you're most
Gonna
likely to engage in.
with, yeah.
So then you just get a disproportionate idea of the fact that everybody on that side believes this thing. And so the right end up thinking that the left all believe, like, the same things, and these
I want to
outrageous,
transgender everybody.
yeah, whatever the like ultimate example of what they believe the worst is. They
Yeah.
think everyone believes that, and it happens
The left on the right. Yeah.
exactly the same, because we are being fed those examples in a way that makes us think 9 out of 10 people believe that, rather than maybe it's like 1 out of 100 or whatever it might be.
Everyone relax!